You okay there, buddy?
Yes, Miss Jane. I'm mighty sorry to worry you. I'm not real good up here in the air.
Oh, geez, sorry. Here, are you cold? I got a blanket.
Oh, you don't have to. Oh, yep, you already got it out.
It's okay. I was chilly too. We can share it.
Oh, sure.
Better?
Well, yes, but that's not why I was bothered.
Yeah?
Yeah, back in Distortion World, I was trapped on a floating platform for a few days. Being this high up reminded me of that.
Oh, sorry. I get that. You've been through a lot.
Well, still, you've been through a lot worse. Plus, things gotta get better before they get worse, right?
That's really optimistic of you.
Oh, shoot. Don't you worry, Miss Jade. I bet when we get to Wild Colony, we'll see Looker, and we'll get help from all them finest officers in the International Police. Heroes are starting their journey in Wild Colony. It has been a few months since the nuclear explosion incident that currently has, as of our chats, doesn't have like an official like incident name. So if chat wants to think of like some kind of like common name for what this nuclear explosion was, feel free to go ahead and post it in the comments, and we will start referring to that incident as such.
I thought it was an idea, then I realized just how
Somebody in chat said the Wild Calamity, which I like.
Oh yeah, the Wild Calamity. Actually, I really like that. All right, yeah, I like that. What do you guys think of the Wild Calamity?
I think that works.
Wild Calamity.
All right, starting off, you guys are a task force that have been called by Inspector Looker of the International Police to investigate what might be your most dangerous mission yet. You guys are heading into Ground Zero, and you are going to essentially burrow into the soil and maybe find an underground base. So that is what you know. That is what you
underground base for who?
Exactly. You three know this, but the other officers in the room do not know of this top secret mission. All they know is that you are some big shots who are here to show off, and you have not been greeted warmly.
Yeah.
So if you want to go ahead and start, what is your character doing? Let's say you've been here for a single day. What is your character doing right now?
I would probably like have a map of the desert open, and I would be looking over it and seeing like the zone of like where like how big, how large the like radiation zone is. Are we going by like real world radiation where like being here is potentially just gonna kill us by standing there, or is this magic Pokemon radiation where we might not die? Should be okay.
Let's just not stand in it. How's that?
That's an
We're
excellent
going to
question.
the center of it. I think that's a problem.
Yeah, that is actually an excellent question. Okay, so here you guys are in Wild Colony, and Wild Colony is currently surrounded by a giant biodome, so you are safe while in the town.
But I mean, like, if we're going to the center, are we gonna have like hazmat suits? Or, like...
No, actually, that is why you have invited Alistair.
Oh, hours.
Yeah, so essentially you guys will be traveling across this desert here, and this currently is a wasteland, and like I said, we'll change that in post. So
wasteland with 3 trees. They're all Trebman. There's some Pokemon that died by trees, and now they're haunted trees.
Yes.
My God.
And as you get closer, this power plant over here is essentially a giant crater. You are using Alistair's magic psychic powers because psychic in Pokemon is weird, and you are using that to protect yourself from radiation.
Okay, so basically we do not let him go down.
Okay. So when I get introduced into the operation, I give Mason a handshake, and I say like, hello, it is good meeting you. I'm here to help, and I will be the one who will be dissipating, protecting you from the poison, the radiation.
Good to have you on board. I'm not interested in getting radiation poisoning, so I'm very happy to have you along, but...
Yes, it is actually very bad for your health, and that is why we should avoid it.
But I mean, I've heard you're a great trainer in your own right, so that's even more helpful.
I have some experience and some skills, yes.
But do you know how to use a maglite?
I do not see the advantages that come from using Maglite. I believe it's simply for information.
Don't encourage him.
Be as good as the master.
Don't
Yes, you are Mr. Murdoch, I believe.
Officer Eddie Murdoch.
Eddie Murdoch, yes, I've heard of you. You have quite some renown. I believe you are the one who dealt with the Guzzlord.
I'm like face palming off as he's like telling him that he has renown. I'm giving him a lot of respect. Like, I can tell, like, this guy is serious. Like, I've heard stories about him. Like, this is and I'm over here face
an officer I want to meet.
Yeah, it was a pretty intense moment. I had to detain the Guzzlord as he was, and came at me. He was coming right for me, spouting words and things, and I just I hit him with my maglite, and ever since we've been thick as thieves.
I'm just like over here, just like, I've been chasing these things my whole life. They murder hundreds of people. I still don't understand how he did that.
He's pretty friendly. After I beat him into submission, he was pretty friendly. So
I got this position after years of rising through the ranks.
That is
a Pokemon with a maglite.
That is extremely impressive, Mr. Murdoch.
I know.
It will be great to have your skills along with this investigation.
I am also aware of how skilled I am. Yes, thank you.
Well,
if you'll excuse me, I have some locals to question about explosions and things that happened here.
and we don't even have any. Okay.
All right. You approach the barkeeper, and it just seems to be this young kid who has just kind of been here for the past couple days. He sees you approach, and he just nervously looks at you and goes, hey, officer, what can I get for you?
Hello, I'm Officer Murdoch of the Special Pokemon Investigation Taskforce, or S.P.I.T.
That's not what we're.
I have some questions for you, and first and foremost, I need your name, age, and liquor license, young man.
He wipes a brow nervously. I'm definitely 20. Age of drinking in Japan is 20. So this is a Japanese-based society, so that is okay. He says, I'm age 20. He pulls out his ID, and his name is Chat. What is his name? So we're gonna
Mr. What is his name? No.
So while Chad is deciding his name, he informs you that, my brother fled the town after the explosion or the wild calamity, and I just wanted to help. I've always admired officers like you. He just kind of looks up at you starry-eyed.
Yes, well, it's not a job that any normal person could handle. So you just you stay here and you stay safe. But first and foremost, what do you know about this explosion, this wild calamity? What exactly happened before, during, and after this event?
Yes, if you have any information, that would be of great assistance to us.
Yeah, good God, you scared me.
I've heard that I have a tendency to do that.
Yeah, Alistair just seemingly appearing behind you. You swear you swear he wasn't there a second ago. If you didn't know better, he might have just materialized right there.
You are lucky I have trained my natural instincts and I did not knock you out with my maglite.
I apologize. I was simply, I'm interested in seeing how you work and interested in any way that I could help out, if that would be acceptable.
Super duper. So, what do you know, kid?
He looks at you and says, well, I don't know much. I just know what everyone knows. There was essentially an accident that occurred in this mysterious power plant, and the only people that survived was this mysterious group called Team Fresh Floof. The details have been hidden by the police, but honestly, he kind of leans in. That's what I've kind of been hoping for. I was hoping to get, more info. My brother, I think he got sick, and he opens up his cell phone and he says, "Here's what I know." And he leans in real close and he shows you a picture of a team's website. And this professional trainer team is called Team Fresh Floof. You see 3 women and 1 young man. One of them is essentially a Pokemon Ranger. One gal is this tiny little redheaded gal. One is this strange looking girl in a top hat. She has purple hair, and what's interesting about her, what seems to be resting on her head, is a Giratina.
Would that surprise me?
Make a knowledge check, because this was actually a very big deal.
My character might be interested in this as well.
You can get a plus. Whoa! There you go, Marcos. Yeah, you're very aware of this team, in fact. You actually had an extensive file on them. They've been an oddity in this region over the past couple years. They were a 3-star team at one point, which meant at one point on their team they had 3 legendaries. They're since down to 2, and for some reason that girl is walking around with a miniature Giratina. No one ever quite got details on it, but from
Is
what
3-star like a public, is that like a public designation, or is it just like us as the world police tracking legendary Pokemon?
That is public information, because they are part of the Pokemon League, and a lot of the Pokemon League's income comes from gambling. They gotta know odds.
Oh, okay.
So everyone's teams are public information.
Murdoch, much like myself, has very little Pokemon knowledge. He did not interact a lot with them. He thought it was a little weird that I'm talking. When he sees this picture of the girl with this Pokemon, he goes, "I see. That's a Pikachu. That's Pikachu, right?"
That's a legendary Pokemon. Eddie.
Oh, okay. So that's like a Zugzug, or excuse me, a Guzzlord then, yeah? That's Guzzlord too?
No, it's not. It's a bit different. There's semantically speaking, they're not the same thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Was this team supposedly at the site when it went off? I would be asking Looker this, but I saw Eddie go over talking to this boy, and I'm like, I should be here for damage control. I'll probably ask Looker later.
He goes, "Yeah, it was all over the news. After the explosion, like 2 of them just like came out of the desert like rising phoenixes. It was insane."
And they weren't irradiated or anything?
He flips through his phone, and you can see like a sky satellite picture that someone took with like a drone, and you see them in hazmat suits, like makeshift hazmat suits.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Team Floof, or whatever they were called, seemed pretty capable. Seemed like dangerous criminals, maybe.
Almost like they're main characters or something.
I've heard of this. I've heard of this skill called.
I don't necessarily believe that we have enough evidence in order to convict these people as criminals. I mean, we have to live in a
slows down justice.
We don't even know if they caused anything. Though, I mean, I suppose now that I say about that, I suppose, like, if they're the only people we saw leaving after the thing exploded, we don't know that they didn't cause the explosion, necessarily.
While you're discussing that between yourselves, he does overhear that and says, "There's a few places online that think that, but I don't know. They seem super nice to me, but now that you mention it..."
Detective Murdoch.
Would they even have any motive for doing that?
He thinks this. I don't know. Maybe you should ask Looker over there. He's the guy in charge, and you see Detective Looker, the guy who invited you here, is talking to 2 like frustrated looking officers at the table.
That handsome gentleman over there, that's Looker.
Yes, sir.
All right. Don't leave town, kid.
You can leave town whenever you want. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but don't leave town.
But you can.
Yeah, I mean, you're free to leave town, but don't leave town.
Okay, never mind. I'm gonna head over and talk to Looker because he probably knows more tangible information than a random boy that my partner started.
Looker.
As you come over, you see Officer Looker talking to these 2 exasperated officers, and when you get him, you're suddenly interrupted. He's like, "Oi! You wise guy!" This guy stands up, and he just kind of, this one right here, he attempts to shove, like, with one hand, notices that you are considerably bulkier than him, and just kind of, like, nudges himself back. He's like, "Oi, you think you're some big old boy that can come on in here and take our jobs, eh?"
Well, first and foremost, I'm a grown man. Secondly, if you ain't doing the job right, they bring in someone who can, like me, Officer Ed Murdoch.
I just like poke in here, and I'm like, we're here to help. We're not here to take anybody's jobs.
We're gonna help by dispensing justice all over these people's faces.
That
The other cops start, like, moving their chairs out, like, expectantly, like, as if this guy has a reputation. Looker's about to interject, and he is, "Oi, wise guy, no! I challenge you to a Pokemon battle! Whoever wins gets the job."
we don't even know what the job is.
It doesn't matter. My honor's on the line. All right, you uppity little nobody.
We're part of a task force, Eddie. This is not the conduct that we should be.
I'm about to force my task all over him.
At that,
No.
Looker grabs your shoulder. Looker grabs Mason's shoulder, and he says, maybe this is a good thing.
How exactly?
Introduce you to Zug Zug.
So, all right, buddy, I'm gonna go over here. We're gonna battle at that Tauros ring. Boy, and the little guy behind the stool just kind of shuffles on over. He says, yes. His name is, according to chat, I saw the most for Chad. His name is Chad. Chad comes over, pulls out a Pokeball hurriedly, and recalls the Tauros in there. Officer Cockney over here will... Officer Cockney will come on over here, and Heath pulls out 2 Pokeballs. Now, you do not have dual wielding, but it seems like he does. So if you want to call for a friend, you can totally do that.
My God.
Let's see.
You should call Mason, Mason, because they actually know each other.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, oh my God.
Super fast, a big thank you to our guest stars from Team Vision's Finest of the last story arc. We forgot to do that. Whoops! Venti Steamroller, played by Will. If you want to see more of him, you can follow him on the Warp Lamps Twitch account as the GM of a Pathfinder series called Eben Ward. Also, Professor Puce, played by Piff, he also goes by that on Twitch and Twitter. Can often be seen on Surprise Round on Warp Lamps channel. Esmeralda Singh, I can't pronounce that last name, played by Spectral Fusion. She goes by that both Twitter and Tumblr and Patreon. She does wonderful backgrounds in that Scarlet animation. However, out with the old and in with the new, our new guest for the upcoming session is nothing short of a real treat. We got a team called the Special Pokemon Investigation Taskforce. Spell it out, the first letter of each name. Spell it out, take the first, it's spit. Okay, Stuart. I'm leaving that in. Team leader Mason Jones is played by Macro Games. He runs his own Pokemon Tabletop games on Twitch and is a great GM. The Muscle, Eddie Murgot, is played by Codfish, a variety gamer on Twitch who, in his own word, leeches off his more successful streamers or YouTubers. Who does he leech among us? The same person we're leeching off of, none other than the Psychic Specialist R-Star Huxley, played by Puffin Forrest, an animator who tells tabletop RPG stories. We're happy to have our guest on board. You guys do so much to keep the show fresh and enrich the tabletop experience. Thank you, everybody. Let's start the show! Thanks, Bella, for your cage behavior, too. Gotta stop brooding my recordings.